Hey guys, episode 14 of the stocks and shares portfolio. Not a lot of move this week. A couple of £100 up on the Hargreaves Lansdown ISA. Bit of a slow week with gold and silver. The big sort of news this week is with the Trump and Melania Trump COVID infection. Be interesting to see what this is going to do for sort of stocks, gold and bonds and everything basically. At the moment it seems like gold and silver hasn't done a great deal. Oil is heavily down and the sort of high flying stocks are down. Sort of American tech companies and a lot of S&P 500 companies seem to be down. But we'll see sort of going into the next couple of weeks if it's looking like he won't be able to sort of perform well in the debates and that sort of thing, then could be looking at a Democrat win, which I think is going to be very volatile. But yeah, so not a huge amount of change on here. Notice a big new change, well, an experiment really. I wanted to start up on Trading212. So if you've been following sort of previous weeks, you'll notice a big change in the way the investments section looks, although it's not actually a huge change. I've started a pie from basically replicating the sort of top part of the Ark Invest Innovation ETF. This sort of Cathie Woods sort of top performing ETF, or the main one at least. I think she's got a slightly smaller one that's doing a bit better, but this is sort of the big one that most people are investing in. Been getting criticised a little bit on YouTube for not investing in sort of growth stocks and focusing too much on value. It has sort of hit my returns recently. A lot of what I've been investing in has been going down, but I'm still looking to sort of average these down, and I'm not looking for a return in a couple of months. They're mainly sort of positions that I want to hold for life and have the dividend income, so as low as I can get them, the better really. I'm not looking for them to go up while I'm still putting money in. But I thought as an experiment, I will compare my results to Cathie Wood and Ark Invest. So I set up a little Ark pie. So this is, I just put £300 in, and this is sort of mainly the top sort of 15 in the Ark Innovation ETF. But excluding Tesla, because I've already got a whole share of Tesla I bought last week, so that would be sort of, I'm already overweight on Tesla as far as that pie is, if you like. So I excluded them and just sort of replicated the percentages of a lot of the companies that are available on Trading212. I think this goes down to the sort of positions that are about 2% in our portfolio and upwards basically. There's about 40 stocks I think in the ETF, but a lot of them past sort of the top 15 are 1.5%, 1% or less. So I thought for the sake of adding all of those and just having 40 stocks in this portfolio, it seemed a bit silly, so I'll just go with the top ones. It's only a small experiment really, but yeah, see how this sort of performs over the weeks and months in comparison to mine, and I'll see whether I was right. So I may add more to this if they're sort of going down, and probably look to do the auto balance, so I'm adding more money to the ones that are down, I haven't done basically any research into these companies, sort of on the assumption that Ark Invest have, and their knowledge is better than mine. It's a very small position in my overall portfolio, so if they believe in all of them, then I'll invest in the ones that are down, and we'll see sort of how they perform. Some of them are up a reasonable amount. Yeah, so see what it does. Down £2.38 at the moment, so hardly matters. But yeah, so the investments bit looks a little bit silly with all of these sort of £20 and £15, but yeah, it looks like I've made a drastic change to the portfolio, but haven't really. Yeah, so the sort of gold and silver shares haven't moved a great deal this week. One of the big fallers, GlaxoSmithKline. So I've actually sold out of my Royce position at a significant loss, I think about 50%, maybe a bit more than 50%, but they're doing a rights issue. I just pop over to there. Yeah, the max chart obviously looks horrendous. I didn't invest back up at those highs. So I was in at about £3, I think, £2.80 something. And yeah, they sort of dropped down. I was thinking I averaged down a little. I was thinking, do I go any more? And they've started this rights issue. So they're a £2.7 billion market cap, and they're looking to issue, I think, 2 billion in new shares and 1 billion in bonds. So it's more than the market cap of the company, and they're doing the rights issue at 32p. So similar to what happened with IAG, really, British Airways. They're trying to get people to sort of average down their position. I think if you take up the rights issue, then your position is probably going to be round about sort of £1, £1.25 average. And they're hoping, I think, that'll be the bottom, and they can use the cash to shore up, but I just can't see it. Same thing happened with, or didn't see a way that I could have invested in the IAG one, but I didn't want to sort of hold that any longer. So I have taken a much heavier loss on Rolls-Royce, but I will sort of look to get back into them maybe, maybe 6 months to a year. But I just didn't, I thought this was a loss to cut, to be honest. Not one I would want to average down in. And so I put that into GlaxoSmithKline. They're sort of down pretty hard this week. My average was sort of £15.50. So I've averaged this down a little. So I'm now at £14.97, which is a little bit better. Should get me about 5.5% dividend yield. But this is, again, one that I'm looking to hopefully sort of hold for life. So if it stays down here, then I can keep investing, and probably looking to have about £5,000 overall in this. So not too bad. Yeah, not too many others sort of moved particularly. A little bit of a drop on Kia, still sort of up and down. Yeah, no sort of, haven't seen any real news. One of the big gainers, surprisingly, albeit it's hit down over the last sort of couple of months, you can see my average is sort of 56p, 56p. So it did sort of take a real hit a couple of weeks ago, but in the last week up nearly 15%. Again, no sort of huge news other than they've made a sale of some of their property. I think raised about £30 million, and it wasn't selling at a huge discount to market value. So if looks like they're paying down their debt with this, and hopefully it's sort of getting rid of the property they didn't really want to hold, and making their way towards having a healthier balance sheet. And if they can, I keep saying it, if they can start paying dividends, then there's obviously potential to be going back to the sort of higher prices. Maybe not back to the top, but if they're paying a reasonable dividend, then the market won't, I don't think they'll let it sort of stay at this price. But yeah, we'll see. So more of the sort of little smaller positions, PagerDuty and Proto Labs and that sort of thing. Don't really know too much about these companies, but we'll have faith in Cathie Wood. Shell is one that I've still been allocating more. I've sort of taken some out of here and put it in the invest account to be able to do that little pie, the Ark Invest pie. So looks like my investment has gone down a little bit here, but I've just moved it over to the invest account. But yeah, £9 kind of went down to sort of £8.80 something. Thinking this got to be getting towards the bottom soon. They're not losing a huge amount of money. I would think this is just, again, the sort of 5% drop in oil this week. Can't see this going on for forever, so keep averaging that down. It's another one that I would probably want to have £5,000 in. So a long way to go to get up to that between this and my invest account. But hopefully when I can start selling some more profitable positions out of the gold miners and probably some of my Bitcoin position next year, that will start going into these sort of companies. Saga still had another tank just yesterday, 11.29 pence. Now seems a little bit like they're priced to go bust. Don't really want to average it down, but I'm not selling it. Still think they've got their insurance business, which should stay sort of relatively robust. They had their share issue, and I think they've got a reasonable amount of cash now to survive. So we'll see with them. Sylvania Platinum still looking good longer term. Sort of well above my average, and even on the longer sort of time scale, still pushing up. And my Tesla position is up, only slightly, because they had quite a bad sell-off yesterday with the news and just sort of general sell-off in the stock market. Tesla's quite high beta. It's going to go down more than everything else when everything's going down. But £27, £28 up on this, 10%. I wouldn't mind if this did drop down, even quite a lot. I might look to add a little bit more if it comes down. But not looking to sort of average this up. Just the one share at the moment. So that is the ISA. Just checking on the invest account. New share lending terms. Fair enough. So £180 down now. This is mostly Shell. Still just the 4 companies in there now. It's mostly, as I say, sort of Shell shares moved over from the ISA. Mostly that and Taylor Wimpey. Still just a little bit of Glaxo and Kears in there. So I'll obviously have to keep adding more to this when I want to add new funds. But yeah, not too much change on this week. And that is pretty much the portfolio for the week. Not too much change, £1,000 up overall. And yeah, certainly leave your thoughts in comments below. If you've got any queries on sort of the pie, the Ark Invest pie, certainly leave them down below, and I can give you a bit of help if you want to sort of set that up for yourself or do something similar. And like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you soon.